Hey, what's up, fellow drivers? Today we're going to be continuing our conversation on how to do product research that fits your budget for Amazon FBA. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. My name is David Dickens II with no rev limits, and I'm a six-figure Amazon seller who's been doing this for about 2 years now. I started doing it full time about March last year, and I'm currently documenting my journey from $0 to $100,000 in revenue. If you look at some of my previous videos, you can see my progress up to now, and I've currently launched 3 brand new products in the last 2 months that are now doing between $25,000 and $30,000 in revenue a day. My goal is to hit $100,000, and I think I'll be able to accomplish that this year, so stay tuned. So this is the second part of a video series. I think it's going to be roughly 3 parts, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But this is the second part in that series. And in the first part, if you haven't looked at that video, I highly encourage you to check it out. It's a video right before this where I talk about using Helium 10 to actually start your product discovery phase for Amazon FBA. Now, that is a tool that I use. I 100% recommend it. It's a suite of tools, and Cerebro is a tool that I use for the product discovery phase. And so if you're unfamiliar with what product discovery is, this is finding ideas of possible niches or products that you can start or get into for Amazon FBA for private label, all right? So the biggest thing between this is that we're looking for products and product ideas. We are not selecting products at this moment because we have to go through the validation process, which is going to follow along. Now, in this video, I'm going to specifically talk about the Chrome extension with Jungle Scout. And this is to help really get a bird's eye view of a particular market, help evaluate the traffic, the demand, and the competition, which are critical components that you need to be able to understand in order for you to be able to select products successfully. Oh, and while you're here, become part of the team. Smash that subscribe button, hit the bell so you'll be notified of my next videos, and like crew, you already know what to do. Boom, give it a thumbs up, all right? Okay, for those of you who are ready to take action right now, Helium 10, there's a discount code below. Also, get Jungle Scout Chrome extension. I think I have a link below also for Jungle Scout. You can just get the Chrome extension and sign up for that. Of course, guys, I have to be transparent. It does help me out if you use the link. If you're going to be starting this journey, I highly recommend these tools. It helps me out, helps me grow the channel, helps me to continue to produce content like this, hopefully content that you love, and also it helps you because you get discounts. So I don't want to make this video too long, so let's get started right now, guys. Come on. All right, we're going to continue evaluating these acrylic paint pens here that we found. Now, in this particular segment, I'm going to illustrate how to use Jungle Scout to evaluate the market as a whole. This is incredibly important, guys. There are definitely very specific parameters that, or I guess metrics and numbers that you need to look at and understand and kind of hone your skills to be able to do this effectively, okay? Now, there's a lot to cover, so I'm going to go very quickly, but please, if you have any questions, comment below. I got you back, all right? So let's get started with this right now. And so this is the product that we're looking at, okay? So when we use the tool, Helium 10, and Black Box to find product ideas, this is the idea that we found, okay? This kind of fit our metrics. You see the reviews, you see the price point, etc. This fit the criteria that we set. This does not mean that our research is over. We have to evaluate the market. We have to identify the top performing competitors in this market. All right, guys, let me say that again. We have to evaluate the top performing competitors in this market because that is who we're going to be competing with, okay? We don't want to be at the bottom, we want to be at the top. And if the top is too competitive, then this market is too saturated for us and it has no room for us, okay? Let me drive this home. So the first thing when using the tool, and this is the biggest single mistake that people make when they're doing keyword research. You need to make sure that you're looking at the broadest term that is relevant for your product. A lot of people start searching for the long tails. Like, for example, I know this from experience, but let's say that we were looking at this product and we wanted to figure out if this market is good. A lot of people make the mistake and search for acrylic paint pens for painting or acrylic paint pens. Although this is exactly what we're selling, this is not the main search term to evaluate the entire market. Okay, we need to look at a lot of search terms, but do we need to look at the one that's driving the most traffic, that's the most competitive, obviously, and see if we can still fit, because that is the one that is driving the most sales. So I know from experience that paint pens is going to be the main keyword. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Now, it's not acrylic paint pens. That's, I can prove this. I'll prove this later. It is going to be paint pens based off of my experience. Okay, acrylic paint pens is a very highly relevant key term and search term, but it's not the main one. Paint pens is the main one. So let's go for that. Okay. Okay, so the first thing you do when you identify the main keyword for your niche, for your product, paint pens, you want to make sure that it's relevant. So we're going to take a quick peek, and we can see here that this is highly relevant. Okay, so we know that we have the right search term. Okay, now the next thing you want to do is pull up this Jungle Scout Chrome extension. Click this button here. Now we're going to pull up this market. Now, while this loads, they changed up the page in the format. So this is loading a ton of listings. It's loading like 60 different listings, 50 on the first page with like 10 PPC. It's crazy right now. It used to be like 16. So they're just testing different search pages for categories. So no telling, okay? You may get a different view. We're going to wait till this loads and this opportunity score loads. So one thing I do want to point out, I'm going to push this up here, is notice these sponsored ads. I've already emailed Jungle Scout about this. They pushed out a new update, but it's not identifying sponsored ads properly. We're going to not worry about those. Okay, guys, it's not an issue. You can still use the tool. They'll correct it. But we want to start with the main organic listing here, which is by this one, Artistro. So let's look at this. There are a few metrics that you need to master. All right. So those metrics are going to be, this is weird. It doesn't have the columns here. Let's scroll this out. Let me reload this here. There we go. That was weird. Okay. So the first metrics, the primary metrics that you need to understand in order to evaluate how competitive a particular niche or market is going to be the reviews. Okay. And also your ratings. So you want to look at and see if there's any room for improvement. Okay. If everything is above 4.5 stars, then you know that there's not going to be much room for improvement. If all the reviews are 5, 6, 700,000, whatever, that's going to be extremely competitive. Okay. And if there's not enough demand, then we already know that this is not going to meet that criteria of the 200 and to 450 units a month that we're going to sell. Clearly this is okay. So this is a different market, but I'm just using this for illustration purposes. You need to understand your monthly sales. You need to understand your reviews and if there's any room for you to compete and make the product better, because we're going to try to differentiate. Okay. And of course, we're looking at price point. We want our price point above $20. We've already understand that. Okay. So I'm going to just step through very quickly on these metrics and how to identify if it's too saturated or not for you guys. This is my process. The first thing I do, I like to keep this organic ranking. You see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going on. This is the organic ranking of how the listings appear in search results. In this particular case, it normally says sponsored ad, sponsored ad, sponsored ad, sponsored ad, but in this particular case, it doesn't. So we know that the first 4 spots are sponsored ads. We're going to forego those and not look at those. We want to look at organic listings. And the first one is the 5th spot, which is the 5th listing here. You see? Now we can see their price points match. We can see that the brand matches. So let's look at this. Okay. So here's the thing. We want to be in the top 5. That's where the money is. All right. I know we say first page, top 10, you're going to take some time to rank. We understand that. But ultimately, the end game is we want to be in the top 3, top 5 positions. Okay. Hands down. So that's who we want to really evaluate and see if we can actually make it there. Now, there's some caveats to this. Okay, guys, if the demand is all the way across the first page, that's a little bit different story. You don't have to be in the top 5 to make money, but let's just step it back a little bit and know that we want to shoot for the top. We want to be top 5 for these particular markets. Okay. So let's look at these top 5 listings. So we're going to look at position 5 here and continue on. Look at these reviews. Over 500, over 600, over 500. These are really competitive products already. There's a couple here that has some low reviews, but don't let that trick you. Okay, guys, we need to understand why those products are low. We need to understand what they're doing. We need to understand how long they've been in the market. Maybe they're launching, maybe they're doing some ranking or whatever the case is. Some giveaways to kind of help boost their rank in this particular market. We don't know yet, but that's for another that's for our next step in the process where we evaluate the market and our competition. But we've identified pretty much some of our top competitors, and we know that these reviews are going to be pretty steep. Look at this, 700, 2,000. Okay. Now, here's another thing. Reason why you need to look at all the search terms that you're going to be ranking for, your main search terms, not search term. That's the biggest mistake. You can't just say like, oh, here's one search term, I'm just going to rank for this one, and think that you're going to get these sales. That's wrong. These people are getting their sales because they're ranked on the first page for 5, 6, 10, 20, or upwards of that first page rankings for those search terms, those words. That's how they're getting this volume. They're not getting it from one search term, guys. They're not getting it from just paint pens. They're getting from paint pens, acrylic paint pens for rocks, etc., etc. That is how they're getting all this volume. So you can't just think that, oh, I found one keyword, this one product looks good, I'm going to go for it. That is failure. You will fail because you are not analyzing the market. Okay, that is incredibly important, guys. I want you to understand that. And that's how we're going to go into the evaluation process in the next video. But let's just start here. All right, I hope that's really important, guys. So let's take a look at this. We already know this is too saturated, guys. Look at this, hundreds of reviews here. So that's first thing. I already know it's too saturated, but let's keep going. Does this meet the demand that we need? We see demand, in the thousands and the hundreds. I mean, if you look at the top 10 sales and they've combined like 10,000 sales a month or so, that's just like a kind of a threshold, if you will. Yeah, they're definitely above that. There's definitely a lot of volume and a lot of demand here. It doesn't seem to fall off too much here. Now, I will say that this page is a little bit bigger compared to like the 16, listing search results, but it doesn't matter. It's still going to evaluate it the same. Here's another thing here, guys. Do I see repeating brands? This guy, I know that I saw him a couple times in here. So, and look at it, Zaire. These guys are on here multiple times. So here's the next thing I do. I look and see who are my top performing competitors, because this is going to help me understand where they're getting their sales from. And that's where I'm going to kind of push it off to the next video, is really evaluating the entire market. So right now we're looking at the top line where we're trying to find our main competitors. And once we find our main competitors, we're going to look and see where they're getting their sales from. That is how you do product research and identify the market. So let's look at our top competitors. I like to filter it down from here. Oh man, these guys are just crazy amounts of sales. Look at this. Look at this guy. He's up here twice, different pack, and he's just crushing it. Man, over $400,000 of revenue a month. That is insane, guys, and extremely competitive. So here's a guy. Look at this. These are the guys that are completely crushing it. Look at this, completely crushing it. Okay. Now look at the reviews: 700, 1,200, over 500, 1,100, over 700, over 500. This is exactly what to look for and to run away from. This is extremely competitive. Okay, guys, these monthly sales are extremely high, which means that for you, you're going to have a very big initial investment to even compete with these guys. Just to have even had to stand a chance, you're going to have to buy 5,000-6,000 units just to stand a chance. And look at these ranks. The BSR, let me just say that clearly. The BSR, the best sellers rank, is a rank pretty much of velocity compared to your competitors. Okay, it fluctuates hourly. It can change daily. It shows you how fast you're selling in that particular category. These guys, these top sellers, are all under 2,000. Most of them are under 1,000. That is extremely fast volume, which means that you're going to have to purchase a lot of units to even get into this market. If I wanted to get into this market, I would say I would need to drop between $20,000 and $30,000 in order to get into this market and do it effectively. You're going to have to push a lot of units in order to rank. Okay, this is an example of it being extremely too competitive, guys. We have people here who are repeating, multiple times, killing it. These names are popping up multiple times. That just means that there's people who are just completely taking over this market. They're big competitors, big players, and it's extremely competitive. And when you see that, run away. All right, guys. I know that's a lot of information. I know what you're thinking. There's complete information overload. And I understand it was for me when I first started out. But one thing I want you to do is stay patient. You have to stay patient. I know you're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna be like, I can't find a product, but this is not a race, guys. This is a marathon. Take your time, learn the tools, learn the information that you're looking at. And if you need help, comment below, guys. I'm here to help you. If you have some questions on what this data means or how to use a particular tool that I'm using, I will help you out. Just comment below, all right? If you made it this far, you already know what to do. Join the team, hit subscribe, hit that bell to be notified on my next video. Like crew, smash that like button, show some videos some love. This is going to help me understand if you guys are liking the content. I'm enjoying creating it, and I'm hoping I'm helping you, make a decision to kind of join this FBA family. Until next time, guys, this effectively ends the video. Keep driving your business to success, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.